He says, I don't want to lose my license.
That's right.
He didn't want to lose his license, so he let a child be taken under false statements by a CPS worker who didn't even notarize it under penalty of perjury.
There's a $5,000 reward to that CPS worker for taking that child.
Isn't that awful?
And if it's a baby, it's $10,000.
Well, they took a baby 1 day old right here out of the Marion Hospital. Her name was Angel Powers. Betty Powers was the mother. Betty goes to church 4 times a week. She's been sober for 30 years since she stopped being a teenager. Wonderful gal. And they took her baby 1 day old based on the fact that she had some trouble when she was a juvenile. That should have never, even 30 years later, they steal her baby, her only baby daughter.
Directly from attorneys who appear before him in court every day and has breached the duty to avoid the appearance of impropriety. Any attorney whose career is balanced on the rulings of a judge and whose client's future is in the hands of that judge should not be pressured to give that judge political favors.
Thank you.
So you've done, Betty, everything that you can physically do to comply. You proved you're not homeless, so Santa Barbara Child Protective Services lied, correct? And the liar's name was?
Katie Hartman.
Katie Hartman was the liar who gets paid with tax dollars to steal your baby under color of law.
That's true.
Am I overemphasizing?
No, it's the truth.
And she is heartbroken today. And Judge Garcia and you lesbian judge Barbara Beck, you wannabe Superior Court or Supreme Court judge, you're never going to get there, Barbara. You belong in jail. These judges conspired to steal this baby, but first the CPS worker, and I think one was named Karen Wagner, no relation to me, snatched that baby, in my opinion, totally illegally. And in my opinion, Beck should be in jail, the CPS worker should be in jail. Garcia, who just got elected as a real judge for the first time after being a wannabe judge, a commissioner for 12 years. But I think Garcia said in the early paperwork, if she's not schizophrenic, if she's not homeless, if she doesn't have drug issues in her blood, I want her to get her baby back. Then the CPS workers snuck in the allegedly lesbian Barbara Beck judge, who I think I made a reference to her and somebody named Sarah some years ago on a show, and then Barbara decided she didn't want to run for re-election anymore. Then they brought her back as a standby judge from retirement, so she collects double pay. This system needs to change, people, and only you can make a change. We got some judges coming up right now for election. Let me give you a heads up on who's coming up here. Charlie, you've done a wonderful service by not having a driver's license and making those guys regret it. We have a judge election coming up. 4 are running right here in Santa Barbara County. They're county-wide offices. Do your own research. Find out if they are porn addicts, gay pedophiles, or drunk, or you might find yourself in front of a bad judge someday. Now is the time. Don't accept media sound bites. Do your own research. Remember that the former district attorney assistant, Charles Bealey, was caught viewing porn on his office, that's the district attorney's office, business computer in 2002, and he was running against our lesbian incumbent judge, Diana Hall. What a great choice. A guy that's breaking the law by using government property for personal pleasure in the business office of the district attorney of Santa Barbara versus a lesbian named, and she was a very pretty lesbian, Diana Hall, who got caught after a fight with her lover. If I'm quoting the Slanted Mary Times correctly, she had a argument with her lover whose name was, and I'm not joking, Deetra Dykeman. Then Judge Hall went driving away after she had had way too many and got pulled over by an alert sheriff's deputy who had been called because there was an issue of whether someone had called 911 and maybe somebody forced her to hang up the phone or whatever. But they pulled her over. The bottom line was our beautiful lesbian judge Dinah Hall, bye-bye. She's not here anymore. I went to her appeal down in Ventura when she appealed some things and made her statement. I think she was a bad judge anyway, regardless of this incident, regardless of her, and I watched her in court quite a few times. I think she was just a bad jurist. She didn't know the law, and she pulled some boners that I think should have been overturned. But you got 4 people to choose from here, people. And don't just read the voter's guide. You know, the voter's guide comes up, and of course, you know, they're going to say all nice things, but ask yourself other questions. Go find out about these guys. Look. Make sure you are giving better choices for a judge. You've got Lynn S. Cutler, another assistant DA. You've got Kevin Reddy, who ran last time, and we got footage of Kevin Reddy, who ran last time against Garcia. He's county council. He's from the county council. Those are the people they send to steal babies after they've already illegally kidnapped them, or children. You know, I got to think about that. And I've asked Kevin Reddy to come back on the show after he ran last time, and he's just sort of never found his way back here. But he's invited, as all the candidates are. Which is the office that helps CPS kidnap children for profits and for job security. Then you've got this John McKinnon, a senior county prosecutor under Tom Sneddon. Excuse me, wasn't Tom Sneddon the one that misrepresented when fingerprints got on a certain girly magazine and tried to misrepresent the facts? In other words, he concocted false evidence in the Michael Jackson trial? So this John McKinnon was a senior county prosecutor under Tom Sneddon, that guy that should have gone to jail instead of to a fat retirement. So you've got all these people running. Don't just take it from, you know, it says says McKinnon's running. Oh, and then there's Jed Beebe. I forgot to mention Jed Beebe, private attorney. But just don't take what they put in here. Go ask questions. Find out. All right, enough of that. Now, I have to give you Gary Zerman, attorney at law. He's going to have a discussion here about some really bad judges, and we'll be back. Did you hear about, I think it's Judge Klein down here in Southern California?
Yes, I followed it. He's been indicted for having child pornography, and then I believe a young man was stepped for. He's now an adult, but while he was, I believe, a young teenager, 13 or 14, that the judge had approached him and sexually molested him. And what's astounding is he's still on the ticket trying to get reelected. And what's even more astonishing is that I believe 20 of his colleagues came out and endorsed him.
20 colleagues endorsed Judge Klein, even though he's indicted?
Knowing this, and then in fact also when they went in and searched his computer, both home and in the office, they found child porn there.